Boys and girls, Alex here with Mind Property Management. My guest today is Giles. Giles, how are you?
Great. Glad to be here, Alex.
Giles has 14 years of real estate law. He is a corporate counsel here at Mind Property Management. Today we're talking all about AB 1482, which is a rent control law that recently got passed in California, right? We sort of need to understand how it applies to the landlords. We get a lot of questions from customers, so we decided to just record a video and maybe help you out interpret some of the particulars about the law and how it applies to you. The question we're covering today, Giles, is if I transfer a single family rental property ownership from LLC to individual, am I then exempted from the AB 1482? Now, Giles and I did an episode on is my single family property impacted by AB 1482. You can watch that, and if you were sort of impacted, then this is a follow-up episode. So Giles, if you change, is it possible to change ownership type from entity to individual and then get exempted? How does that work?
Yes. Well, the answer is yes. If you transfer it out of an LLC to an individual under this assembly bill is not subject to its provisions in terms of the rent cap or the just cause ordinance piece of this, provided you do insert into your lease or provide written notice that your property is exempt, and there's some language in this bill of the specific language that you would include in your lease. But back to your question, Alex, you may not need to, if you own a property, single family home, I should say, in an LLC, in order to be exempt, you may not need to transfer it. So an LLC is only carved out, the bill itself carves out real estate investment trusts, corporations, and limited liability companies, LLCs, if one of the members of the LLC is another corporation. So if your LLC, if the members, the equity members of that LLC are just individuals, and you don't have a member that is a corporation, then you don't need to worry about transferring. You keep it in your LLC, and if it's a single family home, you are not subject to the rent cap or the just cause aspect of this, provided you now notify your tenants that your property is exempt from the rent cap.
Now, specific to the notification itself, does the bill spells out the language, or do people usually need to hire a real estate attorney such as yourself or another real estate attorney to actually craft that language into the lease?
No, it's stated language in the bill itself, and it's a specific reference to the civil code section. It's basically advising the tenants of how this bill works. Nobody reads that stuff, but they like to make landlords put it in there. It's just more boilerplate for the lease, but it needs to be in there.
Gotcha. So like the car lease, California real estate form lease will probably have that in there moving forward.
Potentially. The tricky part with this assembly bill is if you do qualify for the exemption, there's one provision you would include. If you are subject to the bill, there's a different provision you'd include in there as an addendum. So, property managers and sort of owners that have multiple properties and hold properties in different ownership structures, or are dealing with single family homes and multifamily, are going to have the wherewithal to build these different provisions into their lease or include the right notices of the right property, so to speak.
Or hire a property management company that can do it for you.
Exactly.
There you have it. Thank you very much for watching. Giles and I have done a number of these interviews. Go to mind.co. That's our company, mind.co. Look at that search bar on top, type in AB 1482, find 3 or 4 or 5 more interviews, and hopefully you'll learn a lot more about this law and avoid any issues with your rental property in the future. Thank you very much for watching.